weekend it was the Bilderberg meeting. It took place in Greece. This seems like some elitist gathering. Are those part of this same agenda that you are describing?
I think they are, but I would presume that most of those politicians who go there, prime ministers and presidents, etc., they don't know of the agenda. They are being fooled. But they pick out some to be prime ministers. Tony Blair was picked out a year before he went there, and then he became prime minister. Bill Clinton was picked out a year before he went to Bilderberg meeting. He became president, etc. And they decide a lot. When a Finnish former prime minister, and at that time he was prime minister, he went to outside of Brussels. That was a few years ago. They had this meeting, and usually there's nothing leaking out into the press, but there are always ways, to find out. So he came to Finland and he said, we have to raise the price of oil. This little clique of 100 people had decided that, a private clique, and the prime minister is just, running to his country and saying, we have to raise the price of oil. That shows, but they don't, in my mind, know the evilness behind. They are being fooled. Why would they tell? Why would they tell them? Because then, if you have some morals, you would say, no, I don't want people to be killed. I don't want children to be harassed. I don't want this. Normal people would do that. So I think they're being used by people like Kissinger.
This meeting, it lasts like 4 days, 3 nights. They sleep in the same hotel. Is it possible that they can be, those participants might be subject to mind controlling while they are there?
That's a very intelligent question. I think absolutely that's what is being done, but of course I can't prove it. They have another Aspen Institute in the US, and I have talked to somebody who's been there and working there many years ago, and they gather also, it's a think tank, people from all over the world. I mean, big names come there, and they are being mind controlled. So that's, they become slaves of the system. Like they say, we will make you into a prime minister, you are going to be a general, but then you obey us, and that's it. And many people say yes, because it's great to be, somebody big up there. They don't realize that they have to do a lot of evil things, but they're stuck. How can they say, no, I don't want to? Then a little car accident or a heart attack. What happened to Norwegian Johan Holst, who was negotiating peace in the Middle East? Heart attack. There are, how would I say, powers who don't want peace in the Middle East. Absolutely not, because 70%, I have read at least, of the Israeli money for military comes from the US. Now, if there would be peace, the money doesn't come, right? So why should they have peace? It was a shock to me to find out that secret services harass peace activists. I could never understand it. Isn't peace a good thing for everybody? No, it's not. When the order is, there shouldn't be peace on this planet. And then it makes sense, okay, that's why they are, filming them when they go into the streets and cry for peace. They're all filmed, and then they pick them and start harassing them. Peace is not decided by them, but peace is wanted by everybody else, normal people.
So in today's situation, maybe one might think that the real slaves are those who are working for they within the secret services, CIA, military and so on, which cannot break out if they try to stop doing what they are doing. And,
I think you're very right.
Maybe if there is a growing public opinion against these things, it might be seen as if they might be liberated from outside.
Yeah, you're quite right. Those who think that they are governing, they are also slaves, but they don't realize it, and it's very sad. Then when they wake up, it's usually too late, and that may be one of the reasons why sometimes very big guys commit suicide. They realize where they've been, what they have been doing, etc., or then they get killed. There are thousands of people that get killed every year, and they are not officially murdered. They get cancer, they get a brain disease or a tumor or whatever, they get a heart attack. Now that's normal death, isn't it? And nobody understands that it can be induced with different frequencies with beaming, immediately or soon, long-term effects. And how do you fight against it? When Sometimes they use the satellites. They have killer satellites. They can kill you in an instant if they want. I mean, how do you fight against it? You don't. That is impossible, I think. But the military, of course, is developing all the time all kinds of defenses, and like in this conference, which was mostly military, they're talking about tasers, you know, the electromagnetic weapons, that the pistols, that they call non-lethal. They have killed 351 people until April 2009, so they're not non-lethal. They've killed 6 children. They were showing statistics, and they've been used in Ireland for 30 years. They are doing field experimentation, but for their benefit, I must say that they were at least presenting the things in a way that that they would be less non-lethal, but they could take care of the crowds and violence, etc. But why do we have to have those? Why do we have to have electromagnetic weapons that affect the brain? You tell me. I don't understand, except power, 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 and power corrupts.
It seems like they might be more harmful for the people themselves, as if what is called the defense, the military, is not defending at all. They are maybe being part of the system.
Oh, absolutely. They are part of the system, but you must remember there are, like in the police, good cop and bad cop. You know, there are good people and there are bad people. And in my mind, the good people are now in the not in the majority. They're being suppressed, and some of them are reacting. They are resigning, or they're trying to, you know, do something, coming out. But when you're in the military or the police, well, you know, it's your boss that decides. Shut up, and that's it. It's aye, sir, or go out.
I'm reading some blogs at the internet now, and it seems there's a growing opinion among public in Norway that the politicians are starting behaving like strangely, as if not taking any more initiatives. Can one see at the person, are the signs of the person being under mind control in the physiognomic behavior?
It could be. Of course, you know, I can't tell that, but it could be.
But,
and like I said, they don't realize that it's the highest politicians that are caught into this system because they have to be governed. They have to obey. And that's why they're microchipped without their knowledge. And they think, when they say, oh yeah, we give permission that you can have 12 months of experimentation in the field with people, normal people or anybody in the public, they don't realize that they themselves are subject to it. What evidence is there that they're not? Since it can be done with a handshake. And maybe they are fooled too, to believe, because the TV here they show, oh, prisoners are going to have big things on their feet and their hands when they're released, so that we know where they go. I mean, come on, microchip is 2 micromillimeter, and they have been microchipped from 60s already in the prisons, at least in Sweden. So, you know, this is totally false information. So they may believe that these all big things on the prisoners are the only way, and they have no idea that it's 2 micrometers. And probably today it's even smaller, because this is a few years back I got this information.